Casino workers, what messed up situations have you seen? I had a friend at McDonald's, a real wild type, who every once in a while would say, "Oh hey, guess what time it is? Pickle surprise!" and put a big handful of pickles on a random cheeseburger. I worked at McDonald's in high school. I had a buddy who was like this. The best story I remember was a girl we knew ordered a burger with no onions. He took her burger meat, carefully cut it out so it became a burger loop, put that on the bun, and packed the entire center with onions. It was maybe 10% burger, 90% onion, but it looked totally normal from the outside. He never would have done it to a stranger, but friends were fair game. I also went through and ordered a burger one time, and he gave me the bag with what I thought was an evil smirk. Turned out he put 9 patties on it. My other friend who ordered 2 burgers got one with 4 patties, one with 5. I worked at a popular fast food place in my younger years. It was my first time with a closing shift, and we were all doing our part to clean and get the store ready. I see this lady with a mop and bucket come out of the back, slosh it onto the griddle, and start mopping it. I was shocked. I went and told the manager, and she says to me, "Well, that's the fastest way to clean it," then scolded me for worrying about things that didn't concern me. I quit that job next day and then called the district office and told them what happened. That spot closed down not long after, but the franchise still exists. Pour the whole tray of drinks over a customer. Twice. An international trade show with students as waiters. First time was an accident. Second time she was so nervous she was basically shaking and spilled the drinks again on the same guy. I gave them what they ordered. We were a pizza, Italian, bar restaurant. Our menu was ridiculously huge, and basically anything that was on the menu that could go on a pizza was listed as a topping, probably 40 to 50 topping options. I would get asked pretty often for a pizza with everything on it. I had a couple of usual jokes to figure out what they really wanted. Typically a deluxe, but then they'd want no black olives or whatever. No big deal, until the jerk came in that ordered everything and then started to ask me if I was retarded when I asked him. My sister has disabilities, so I didn't like his attitude. Told my boss about it, and he smiled and said, "Get him a pizza with everything." Brought it out and gave it to him. He freaked out and demanded the manager, of course. My manager had my back and gave the guy his bill, which at $2 a topping was way over a $100 pizza. Guy refused to pay, cops got called, blah, blah, blah. I hope he enjoyed his pizza with clams, pineapple, buffalo chicken, broccoli, anchovies, green olives, cream cheese, cauliflower, jalapenos, shrimp. Worked at a 50s-style diner, prepping the chicken breasts for our burgers, and dropped a tray of 50 and they slid right under the grill. Definitely the filthiest place in the whole restaurant. My boss saw and had me pick them all up, rinse them with water, and re-season them and put them back in the fridge. At my last restaurant job, my coworker would make very ugly sundaes for customers who were rude. For particularly nice customers, she would carefully make the sundaes in the menu pictures and give them extra cream and sprinkles. Tampering with food is not that common. I've been in the business a long time and only worked with one girl who spat in someone's food. Another server saw her and she got reported and fired right away. The only other thing that sometimes happens is when people get cocky and ask for super spicy food, the kitchen staff turns into evil geniuses. A guy once asked me for wings so spicy that they would give a woman a miscarriage. I told those crazy instructions to the kitchen, and I don't know what they did, but the sauce was burning my nose and making my eyes water as I carried it out. He was not able to finish his wings. Some Indian guys came in one time and asked us to make their food as spicy as possible. I told them that's going to be extremely spicy and wanted to make sure they knew what they were asking for. They went on a long speech about how Indian restaurants are the only places that really know what spicy is, and anything we bring out isn't going to be close to how spicy they like their food. So I had the owner come over to tell them that we'll try our best, but there won't be any refund on this food if it's too spicy. So we made them chicken fried rice with Trinidad scorpion peppers. After 2 bites and about 10 glasses of soy milk, later, they ordered something else. One time we had a woman call back because her rotisserie chicken was burnt. I explained it's just charred because of the way it's cooked. She wasn't having it, so we agreed to get her a new one. 10 minutes after her husband left, she called back even more pissed, saying this one was worse. We told her to send her husband back again for a new one. The manager and I went in back with gloves on and scraped off all the burnt parts. I swear to God, another 10 minutes after he leaves, she calls again, but this time her rice didn't have any craisins on it. So once again, I tell her to send him back. I dumped so many damn craisins on that rice, I think she got the point and we never heard from or saw them again. I know it's not super gross, but it's pretty rare to see someone meanly screw with someone's food. I have seen cooks use the 5-second rule when dropping food or not washing hands, but that's about it in my 7 years in the business. I worked in a very well-known fast food chain for a while. My favorite example of this actually involved nothing. The person who bought food had been rude to staff on multiple times. The person serving went to get their food, walked around the corner in a noticeable way, then returned, having done nothing. He gave the food to him with a huge grin on his face and said, "Enjoy." He then watched the person throw it in the bin when he went outside. Worked at a fast food pizza place. Nothing without customer consent happened, but customers asked some weird stuff. One time a customer asked for extra chili and stressed a lot, so of course we put a ton on it. Another person wanted chicken legs and wanted it extra crispy. He kept sending it back until it was pretty much burnt, which is when he found it perfect. The worst one was a woman asked to put her pasta in a blender because she had just gotten prosthetics and couldn't eat right. It looked disgusting. I worked for Applebee's for 7 years, and not until my last year did I see this happen. One of the cooks would use one pair of tongs for the grill station for closing. He used the same tongs for raw chicken, beef, seafood, and cooked food. He would swish the tongs in his sanitizer solution that looked like soup since he never changed it, claiming that it was good after that. I called him out on it and he told me that I never told him how to cook, so I should let him be. I told management too, and it was ignored like everything else. I quit that job next day and then called the district office and told them what happened. That spot closed down not long after, but the franchise still exists. The nicest thing I ever did was actually for myself. I was a home fries and scouting exact freak. I would wait until I had the end or the butt cut and cook them up to an eye-dropping perfection. The print looks like every evil thing in a Q days, and then I would just wait until I could enjoy them. One day I ordered some to mild press until the final end fries to a perfect point, but this time the other cook cooked them for me and forgot how I liked them. It was impossible to be abused. So in short, I took the juicy bits and did a deep fat fry to an exquisite perfection and cooked the fries in that grease. I guess having some evil technique is not really bad. After you turn them on an angle, it's pretty much approachable that it will taste much better than the normal fries. A guy also did it at work when I was hungry. He took a couple of tongs, laid them on a rack, and roasted them nicely with a buffalo sauce and left them in a heat lamp until I was hungry. I must admit that it's not bad, but based on the angle of them, the crispiness and softness makes it so good. I haven't worked in a restaurant in over 15 years. I never messed with anyone's food because that is assault. What I used to do to snotty Karen types is give them a senior discount and announce to the table when I dropped the check that I remembered to add the senior discount. Worked in a deli for a few years. I never tampered with anyone's food, but if you were a jerk, I guaranteed your bread was over toasted, the lettuce on your sandwich was wilted, the tomato was the butt end with the hole from us removing the core, your onions were small pieces, the meat was the smallest of the portions, and on and on. I wouldn't mess with someone's food, but I sure as hell wasn't making them a good sandwich. And all of that goes the exact opposite way with the customers I liked. Always gave them the best product to the point that they would wait for me to help them. Not food related, I worked at a restaurant that had a free photographer. They would print little postcards for free, but if you wanted the prints printed, they would charge extra for the printing. They used Photoshop to make the prints, so the artists would touch up the pics that they took before printing. Well, I had a party of 20 come in, a wedding party. They were super rude and only tipped $7 on their $500 check. I gave all $7 to the photographer, and he made the bride look fat. Worked in restaurants for over 10 years. It's pretty rare that you see people mess with someone's food, but it does happen sometimes. The most memorable was once when a customer made a waitress cry complaining about their food and sent it back.
The chef farted on the remake. It got a lot of laughs. More common is if a customer is an asshole, when they order dessert, you find the smallest slice of cheesecake you can. Worked at a movie theater for a while. Our pizzas came frozen in a large bag of many pizzas, so the stuff inside sometimes got shifted around during shipping. One guy was acting like it was the end of the world because he got there late, hungry, and had to wait in line. He ordered a pepperoni pizza, so my coworker went to the freezer, pulled out a pizza with one slice of pepperoni on it, and threw that thing into the oven. The guy eventually got a refund, but that must have felt good to see the reaction from him. When I bartended, the worst thing I ever did to an order was pour a standard pour instead of being generous. The worst way I treated a customer was that once I refused to pick up the 2 dimes and a nickel, he tried to tip me for his $14 drink. And when he said, "Hey man, this is for you," I replied with a sharp, "Keep it, you clearly need that money more than I do."
Thanks for watching. Have you ever had food come out suspiciously wrong? Tell us about it in the comments.